Hey, I'm Arch, and in this video, we'll show you how to file a tax-efficient, compliant self-assessment using Taxed within minutes. So if you're on the website, just hit the Start for Free button anywhere, and then you'll be taken to our self-assessment. And we'll start off with the introductory questions. And this helps us to learn a bit more about you so that we only show you the questions that you need. Everyone's tax situation is different, and tax covers a range of cases, from residents to capital gains, to landlords, and so on. But in this example, I'll just choose self-employed. And as we go through these introductory questions, we've tried to remove any kind of tax jargon, making things as easy as possible to get through and file. But we are also on hand on the customer support if required. Once the introductory questions are done, I can go ahead and input my name and email and save my progress. And this creates my account. Once that's complete, you get your personalized questionnaire. This is your self-assessment with the questions that you need to complete to file a compliant self-assessment to HMRC. And now every category has their own introduction section, which helps to give you a bit more understanding around what you need for that particular category. So for self-employment, I need things like my earnings. But let's start off with a bit about my self-employment, things like my name, a bit of a business description, and a postcode. In many cases, this will just be my name, my postcode, and then a bit of a description about my business. And then we'll move on to industry. And this helps us to really personalize your tax experience so that we show you the expenses and deductions relevant to someone in your industry. And then let's move on to the tax specific questions. So things like your earnings. And this is the earnings within a particular tax year. And remember, a tax year runs from the 6th of April until the 5th of April the following year. And then we'll start to ask you about expenses, but we'll suggest expenses that a lot of self-employed individuals within your industry are also expensing. And tax will handle all the calculations and apportionment that's required. So if you drive, if you use a phone, or if you work from home, we will handle all the calculations. So you just need to input a bit of detail around your information, and tax will calculate the relevant deduction that's allowable for you. And then we've got our total expenses. So these are general expenses, things like insurance, train travel, accountancy fees, uniform, boots, and so on. And what you see here will be based on the industry that you've selected. And as you add new expenses, you can see your tax position at the top left update based on what you've told us. So in real time, you can see your refund or liability change based on the information that you provide. And we can also help you calculate capital deductions. So if you bought or sold a car, you can input those details and we'll calculate all the capital allowances required for your tax return. And once we complete the self-employment category, we can see a summary. Every category has a summary based on the information that we've just provided. And once that's done, let's move on to credits and deductions. And here we try to suggest other areas that can help to reduce your tax bill, things like venture capital schemes, pension contributions, or even donating to charity. In this case, I'll select no and move on to the next. And in the general category, it's all the other questions about your tax return. Things like payments on account, if you've made any last year, your student loan, or any other income that you may have received that you've not input into your tax return. And now that's done, we'll move on to personal info. And this is just a bit of information about yourself. Things like your address, your phone number, things like your UTR and national insurance number, which are all needed for your tax return. And that's it. Our tax return is actually complete. The final section is just rounding off your tax return and submitting to HMRC. So in this case, I'm receiving a refund, so I just need to input my bank details that I want my refund sent to, and then we're good to go. And once that's complete, we move on to payment, where you can then also see a full tax calculation breakdown of how we've got to your tax liability or refund from all your income, allowances, and then each band and how we've calculated that tax. And that's everything. You're ready to submit to HMRC. So once you hit the submit button, we're good to go. It takes a couple seconds, but it is instantly submit to HMRC. And your personal tax account with HMRC will update within a few days. And then we move on to your dashboard. And on the personal tax section, you can view your self-assessment PDF and your SA 302 tax calculation summary. And these documents will always be saved for you on your taxed dashboard. Thanks for watching.